welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Natalie if you've never seen my face before, and today we are going to do the book recommendation tag video. I hope I got that right. But basically, Steph Borg created this, I'm pretty sure. I wanted to hop on the trend and go through the list of questions. There's basically a list of questions that you go through and choose a book for the question of what your answer would be. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will list all the questions down below if you guys want to check them out or try it for yourselves, but I thought this would be a fun way to just kind of get some recommendations out there of the books that I love or hate. You'll see throughout the questions, and you guys can share your opinions in the comments because I know obviously everyone has different opinions on certain books, and that is totally okay. So we're just gonna go through the list of questions on my phone right here and we'll see what you guys think about it. The first question is a book you tell people is your favorite. I am fairly new to the booktube / just book world in general. I started reading consistently only last year, so I haven't gone through the heaps of books that some booktubers have been through, so I just want to preface it with that. But my book that I would tell people is my favorite of all time, probably, or one of them of all time, is Verity, which we all know some of us love, some of us don't, but Verity is one of the books that when I started reading I fell in love with it. I think the story is absolutely insane, so if you haven't read it yet, which I'm sure a lot of you have, but if you haven't, you should definitely hop onto this book because it's so good. This is probably the book that I would tell people is my favorite consistently. There's, you know, obviously others, but this is the one that I go to first because I just love the story. I think it's absolutely insane and I fell in love with the story. So Verity is the book I would tell people is my favorite. A book that is your guilty pleasure. Okay, I'd say my guilty pleasure book is Call Me By Your Name. I have 2 or 3 different versions of this book. I love this story and this movie, which was unfortunately ruined by one of the characters. If you know, you know. In the movie, he got into some stuff in real life that happened, and he's just not a very good person, but I still love this story. Probably my guilty pleasure just because the 2 men in it together, their romance, I'm obsessed with it. So I guess that's why I would say it's my guilty pleasure, because I just love their romance and it gets a little spicy, and you know, that is a guilty pleasure of mine. Next is a book everyone loved but you didn't, and I actually don't even physically have this book with me, but the book is Beach Read. I can't find the book and I'm pretty sure I might have given it away. That's how much I didn't like the book, and if you did like it, that's okay because a lot of people love that book. I am just not a big fan of Emily Henry's writing. I think it takes forever to get through, at least for me. I just don't find it super interesting. I know a lot of people love it, so that's totally fine. I honestly read one Emily Henry book and haven't given another one a chance. If there's any Emily Henry fans out there and you think that there's a different book of hers that I should give a chance besides Beach Read, let me know, because I do have People Leaving on Vacation and Book Lovers, and I haven't read either of those because I didn't like Beach Read. I need to give her writing another chance, but that book really let me down, and I know a lot of people loved that book, so that would definitely be my answer for that one. Number 4 is a book you read the fastest. So I actually just picked out a series. It's the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I read this so fast last year. I know obviously the series on Amazon Prime came out. I don't remember if I read this before it came out or after. They're obviously YA books. They're super easy to read and super quick. It's a really cute series, and I know the 2nd season has already been filmed. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but if it is, I think it'd be so fun to just reread these books before that comes out and do like a little reading vlog on it. So let me know if you'd like that if it does come out this year. I read this so quick just because it's very easy to read. I love the characters in it, and it's just a cute little summer romance series. Definitely recommend if you haven't read it yet. Number 5 is a book that deserves more hype. This will always be the book I say that deserves more hype. It's Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I love this book. It's like one of the first books I ever gave 5 stars. It's an LGBTQ+ book. Honestly, I just think it deserves more hype. I feel like probably a lot of people that don't read it because it's an LGBTQ+ book, and I know that's like not a genre some people get into. I love those books, and I love seeing the romance between same-sex like couples because I'm in a same-sex relationship. So I definitely recommend reading this book or just giving it a chance if you've never read LGBTQ+ genre before, because this one is so good. I just love the 2 characters. It's the president's son and a prince. They end up meeting hate each other at first, and then it turns into, you know, a romance. So I definitely recommend it. It's such a cute book. I think it deserves way more hype than it has because the character's amazing, the story is amazing, and I think you should give it a chance if you haven't. Number 6 is a book that is becoming a movie or TV show. I picked out 2 for this because I just finished reading Daisy Jones and the Six like last weekend, I'm pretty sure. And I wanted to read it before the series came out. I think I started like the first episode and I haven't watched any more of it, but the part I did see was very similar to the book, which I enjoyed. So this obviously became a TV series, and then I picked up It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, our tried and true. We all know that this is going to be made into a movie with Blake Lively. I know so many people were upset about the casting done for this. I love Blake Lively, but I obviously would not picture her as Lily. So let me know if you agree in the comments and who you would have casted, because I've seen so many things on TikTok of how people would have done the casting different, and I completely agree. But I still think it's going to be a great movie. Hopefully it lives up to the book because we know this book has so much hype. I'm excited to see it when it comes out and how they end up doing the story. Number 7 is a book you have reread the most. I don't think I've reread any books besides, oh, okay, I've reread Great Gatsby. I don't think I have with me, but I read it in high school as like an assignment, and then I read it afterwards too because I love The Great Gatsby. It's one of my favorite movies. And then Call Me By Your Name is the other one that I've reread. I've only read it twice though. Not like any books I've reread. I just like trying new books. Yeah, so I don't really have much of an answer for that one, but that is the only book I've really reread. Number 8 is a book from a genre you don't typically read. So I don't physically have this book with me because I gave it to my mom and she lives in a different state, so she took it home with her like a while ago. But it's I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. The memoir, which I don't read a lot of memoirs, so that's the one I chose for that, but it is like chef's kiss spectacular. If you don't read memoirs, I totally understand. I don't read a lot of memoirs either, but when her book came out, I picked it up and read it so quick. I absolutely loved it. I think it was done so well, and her story is just insane. It's like heartbreaking but funny. She tells it with comedy throughout, and she's just a really cool person. If you don't know her story, I definitely recommend reading it. Also, I haven't read any fantasy books. I've picked up a few of the like most popular ones that people talk about. I have yet to read one. I need to pick one up. I just don't know if I'll like it. I know I need to try it. There's so many fantasy books that people are obsessed with, and I have yet to try. So let me know in the comments if you like have any you recommend me trying for the very first time. As of right now, I have not read any. Number 9 is a book that deserves all the hype it gets. I picked Things We Never Got Over. I am currently reading this one. I am almost done. Like, I have a big chunk done. I'll probably get it done today or tomorrow. This book definitely deserves all the hype it has. I've heard so much about it. I know I'm late to this bandwagon, but I have the second one literally right up there that I'm going to read soon after this one. This book does not disappoint. The characters are spectacular. I love them so much. I just think the story is so interesting all around. So Things We Never Got Over is definitely worth the hype if you have not read it yet. Okay, number 10 is a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. If you don't know, I'm a huge like psychological thriller reader. I love those types of books. I do like romance, but I like lean towards thriller and stuff like that. If I'm asked to give a recommendation, I definitely would say Silent Patient. This book is so good. Even if you don't like thriller, I feel like this is not super thriller-like. It's more like psychological. I just think it's so interesting, and I feel like a lot of people like this book even if they're not like huge psychological thriller fans. If you don't read thriller typically and you haven't read Silent Patient, you need to read it because it's so good. I love this book so much. 11 is a book that has your favorite characters. I'm honestly gonna have to go with Things We Never Got Over again. I don't know if it's just because I'm reading it like in this current moment, but I'm obsessed with Naomi and Knox. I just love their characters. I love their dynamic together, and then I love all the characters like surrounding the entire story. I just think they all have their own little personalities that come through within the book. I love how they develop like more on each character instead of just Knox and Naomi, but I really do love them together. And so honestly, these I think are my favorite characters out of a book right now. 12 is a book you wish you could live in, and I picked Love and Gelato honestly just because of the setting of it. It's in Tuscany. Who like doesn't want to spend a summer in Italy? Like, I don't know anyone who wouldn't. I feel like if I were to live in a book, it would be this one. It's just a cute little YA book, and it would obviously just be so fun to spend a summer in Italy as like a teenager. So this is definitely the one I would choose to live in. 13, a book you thought you would hate but ended up loving. I chose Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think this was the very first book I read by her, and honestly, from like just reading the back, starts in 1983 and it like goes back and forth. I didn't think I would like this just by like what it says on the back, but I knew a lot of people read it and it had good ratings and everything, so I decided to pick it up and I ended up loving it. I don't think I gave it a 5 stars. So it was definitely a book I thought I would hate and then ended up like really liking the story and the characters. Definitely Malibu Rising, a good one to pick up if you haven't read it yet. 14 is a book that made you cry. I recently read The Way I Used to Be. If you don't know the story about this, trigger warning, there is sexual assault in it. That is something to think about before you read it, but I think this book definitely made me cry just because of the storyline of it all, what she goes throughout her life obviously, and like how one moment changes her forever. Definitely a book that made me cry. I don't cry ever in books, like literally ever, but this one really like touched my heart, and the story is obviously very sad. I'm sure sadly a lot of people can relate to this. It definitely made me cry. Last but not least is a book you wish you could read for the first time, and again I had to bring it back to Verity. I just love Verity, like with my whole heart. I think this book is so good, and if I could reread it for the first time and experience like all the feelings I had the first time I read it and all the twists and turns, I would really love that. So I definitely think I'll reread this one again this year. Verity, I really wish I could read again for the first time. But those were all the questions of this recommendation tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought it was really fun to like go back through my opinions on certain books and share them with you guys, because I haven't really ever done that before. So I thought this was a really fun tag. Again, I'll list all the questions down below if you guys are interested in doing this, but I hope you guys enjoyed this little tag. Let me know in the comments if there's any certain videos you want to see from me soon. I have a couple in mind that I'm very excited about that I think you guys are really gonna love. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I am going to be posting weekly again, which is very exciting for me, and hopefully it's exciting for you guys. Thank you again for watching my videos. It truly means the world. I love reading your guys' comments and replying to them and chatting in the comments. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.